completely different in a few years, and the possibility of black swans, and who knows if we're going to bomb Iran, and there's all types of question marks in the air right now. Are we going to have military in our cities? The thing is, we have no control over any of that. And what we do have control over is, how do we treat other people? Do we treat everyone as if they are a child of God and valuable of human life, and valuable to be treated with respect? Everybody. And then also, what are you doing for yourself to take care of yourself and make sure that you are being the absolute best that you can be? And if I could say anything about 2026, I believe there's going to be some wild things play out. But the thing that I can control is waking up every day and doing things that make me a better human, and doing things that help me grow as a human, make me a better father, make me a better member of my community, make me a better business owner so I can make more money and contribute more in a financial way to my community and people around me, or even just do more things for my daughter, do more things for my family, or have more freedoms. Like, whatever it is, what are you doing every day to improve yourself and better yourself? Because that's where joy comes from. And no matter what happens in the world around us that we do not have control over, joy comes from knowing that I am on a path, and I'm on a path of improving and becoming the best version of myself. And knowing that you already are that version of yourself, you're just on the journey of being that. What is up, everyone? And welcome back. I'm Will Carr. This is the Diginacci Sequence, the one and only, the best show in blockchain podcasting. I have two awesome co-hosts with me today, Crypto Heavy and Phil Spinuza.
What's up, everyone? Glad to be back.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one tonight, guys. I always say that, but that's because it's always a fun one.
Yeah.
But with that, it's Sunday, January 11th, and we're getting the new year kicked off. We're not even 2 weeks into the new year, 2020. You guys sticking to your New Year's goals?
So far, yeah. The dirty bulk is over. We're cutting. I'm down 8 pounds to start off the year, so that's good.
Let's
Yep.
go.
But
I'm doing the same thing. I did a sugar detox right now. My birthday is on Monday, so the 19th. So I said I'm gonna do a sugar detox for 2 weeks to start the year off, because obviously for my birthday I'm gonna have some good food. But yeah, like it's so, and I'm down 8 pounds too, like 8 pounds down.
nice.
So
There you
it's
go, man.
lean,
Nice.
man. I love it. You feel so lean when you do it too. It's fucking amazing. So
I think the only thing I've been really good at doing is making sure I sauna every day.
yeah, I do that every day too. Yeah,
So
love
I,
it.
I eat pretty clean, but I haven't been pumping iron as much as I need to be.
Wait,
Yeah.
I know you drink gallons of damn milk, so like you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I've been drinking plenty of my milk. Don't get me wrong. I just got electrolytes right now, but that's because you caught me with my milk stash is kind of low because I've been drinking it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, yeah, guys. 2026 year's already starting off pretty crazy. I want to dive into. I mean, I've got a few things written down here for us today, which is about as organized as we ever get. But first, I want to talk about. So this just dropped like an hour ago, maybe 2 hours at this point. But Trump's DOJ has filed a lawsuit against Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve for not lowering interest rates.
Well, I'm glad you brought this up. I just saw Powell's response. He has a video out on X right now.
Man, I haven't seen it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was pretty robotic, as you could imagine, and Powell just
Everything
called him
Powell
out.
says is robotic.
Yeah, so the lawsuit, I believe it's really about how he's frivolously spent $3.2 billion renovating the Federal Reserve, and he has absolutely nothing to show for it after a handful of years. And so Trump's using that as a pretext to go after him and pressure him, because obviously he's unhappy with interest rates and how slow they have been improving. And Powell called him out for it. And he called him out, said that this is not about the renovations here at the Federal Reserve. It's about political pressurization. And he's claiming he's going to stand his ground. He's going to ride out his term. And that's that.
I mean, it's literally what me and Will was talking about this. I was like, it's like a damn distraction that we don't need for the market or in general. Like, because Powell at this point, we know is not going to lower the interest rates based off of pressure. Like, my man is standing tall on that. Like, and I don't agree with it, but at the same time, like, calling him out, all that is going to embarrass him, and then he's just going to stand tall. Like, he's not going to get bent out of. You can just tell, like, he's about a book. He's going to do what he got to do. So this is more hurtful to the market because it's bringing in all this extra chaos that we don't fucking need. And, like, now it's going to be just back and forth for no reason when we got other things we need to worry about, like the Clarity Act and other things that could help crypto in general. So
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm really eager to see how the markets react to this. They usually, I mean, if he says good morning the wrong way, the markets can turn. So Lord only knows what this will do. Or
Absolutely.
good afternoon, that is. Yeah.
Tomorrow's going to be crazy volatile. By the time this
Yeah.
episode launches, I have a feeling we're going to see some volatility in the markets tomorrow morning. And
Most certainly.
what it makes me think is just like everything, right? Everything in politics is a distraction.
Mhm.
It's like this is just another thing to distract us from the fact that they haven't released the Epstein list. And when it comes to Powell, yeah, $3.2 billion spent, nothing to show for it. Well, guess what? He also wants to distract from that and say, oh, yeah, this is because Trump doesn't like the way I've handled interest rates. Let's not look at the fact that we've actually spent $3.2 billion and got nothing.
You
I'm
don't want to
sure
talk about the
there's
job market
real
either.
fraud.
Don't talk about the job market either. Like, leave that out
Right.
too. Like the economy is not progressing. Let's just say that. Like, it's not improving. The inflation is not going anywhere. Jobs are getting lost every day. And Powell got it wrong. To be honest, like, he got it wrong. He should have cut earlier. He was too late. But at the same time, like, no matter what happens, if we cut rates, the dollar still gets fucking destroyed. So, like, either way, normal everyday people gonna get killed if they're not in assets. If you don't have some kind of stage in assets, some kind of exposure, but they both right and they both wrong. It's like, it's crazy. So, and we just watch it play out because it's theater.
The dollar's getting destroyed no matter what anyone does. It's
Yeah, it's
toast.
cooked.
It's cooked. Yeah, it's cooked.
It's covered.
But to start the year, pending contracts on the housing market is down roughly 9% right now, and that's very, very bad. And Powell dragging his feet, lowering interest rates is a big, big piece of this puzzle. We really do have to get mortgage rates, honestly, into the fours. They really should be all the way down into the threes. I'm a believer of modern monetary policy, and I basically believe that they lie about all the numbers that we base these decisions on. The reason being, look at all the revisions. They make decisions on job reports and they go back 3 months and revise the whole thing. So you just made decisions based off horrible numbers that aren't even factual. So they can do whatever they want and lie all about it and come up with any sort of number or figure they want to back up any decision they want. So they do need to get rates down, and the dollar is going to tank no matter what, but at least allow people to purchase a home. And people simply can't because rates are too high.
Well, the other option is for the price of houses to come down drastically.
But,
Yeah,
like,
I really can't see that happening.
I was gonna say, but wouldn't they still need the rates to go down so people can make it more
Yeah, I
competitive as well?
mean, it just depends what happens, guys. I mean, if we really want to get into macroeconomics here and talk about what might play out in the next 12 to 24 months, don't see the smile on my face. Let's talk about macroeconomics. Because there's a few ways this could play out. I like with everything that's happening and the way that AI and robotics in particular can create deflation in our country at the same time that we're having a lot of foreign governments sell off treasury bonds. It all has to do with what happens in the bond market. If treasury bills and treasury notes start going up and their yield is almost handcuffs the Fed to be able to cut interest rates. In that type of environment, the price of everything comes down because debt becomes valuable. And so the price of assets come down. This is the type of environment where we see home and stock market prices come down 50%. And a lot of people don't want to think that's possible, but that's because most Americans' entire net worth is in the S&P, the major indexes, and their
And they're rich.
houses,
Yeah,
and
true.
for a lot of those people, they might have 2 or 3 houses. So they definitely don't want to think that their index funds and their home prices are going to come down, because that's where most of their wealth is worth. But that would be the other way that we could see young Americans actually be able to afford to get into things again. And the other thing, that I would say about that is, it's in my opinion that that's a big part of the reason why we just went and took out Maduro and Venezuela. Because if the United States dollar, we say fiat's not backed by anything, but the US dollar is backed by two things: the petrodollar system and the United States military.
Yep, absolutely.
Those are the two things that backs the US dollar. And so what did we just do? Use the United States military to go in and effectively take control of the largest oil reserves in the world. And, this isn't a political show, so we're not here to argue about whether or not that was the right move. But effectively, the United States just took control of the largest oil reserves in the world. So they can now make sure that that oil is being sold in dollars versus being sold in other currency through the BRICS network. And I think that was the major reason we just did what we did.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It had nothing to do with the oil because the United States don't need the oil. China
Well,
needs the oil.
it's about controlling the oil.
Controlling the oil,
Controlling
we
the
need.
oil so that way the oil will be sold in dollars.
Correct. But it also affects China because 70% of their oil comes from Venezuela.
Yeah.
So that was a political play to be able to put pressure on China as well and Iran because they both use Venezuela's oil. So this is going to impact them and their economies, which also makes the dollar stronger because now you can't use the yuan, you got to use the dollar. So yeah, it was all because of that, like the dollar dominance part of it. It had nothing to do with the actual oil itself. We wanted to control it for that reason, like to be able to make sure it's in the dollar, not BRICS
Yeah.
currency.
Yeah. Well, and that, it is going to be fascinating to see what plays out in the next 3 months, let alone 2026 is going to be 2026 is a make or break year, guys.
I agree.
It is.
It's definitely different than I expected. Like even now, like just as we see stuff unfold, is not what 2025 was the year I thought honestly crypto was going to go up. I was like, man, Trump getting in office, I think that things are going to start looking positive, and it was. We got some of the best and most positive news. We got some of the best, most positive people in power that can make decisions on behalf of crypto. So all of that stuff is great. It's just is the timeline takes longer than I thought for that because it was so many other things like the tariffs and like the government shutdowns and all these other things that you can't anticipate when you thinking as a crypto investor, like or an investor in general. So you would never would have think that this was going to happen. And now going into 2026, we got a ton of geopolitical shit that's happening, like more stuff than we even know. And so like all of that stuff plays a huge factor on the market. I'm just hoping that the Clarity Act does what it's supposed to do. But so far, every check box that we get didn't really move the market. So I'm not too optimistic that
It's
clarity.
not a check. It's not a check box that's going to move the market, man. It is going to be a black swan this year. Something crazy is something crazy, if not multiple crazy things are going to happen in 2026. I just feel it. And that's the reason I think 2026 is the year that determines the rest of this decade. However 2026 goes leading into our midterms here in the US is going to determine the way the rest of the 2020 decade plays out. And I think it's going to be, not that there might not be some surprises or whatever in 27 through 2030, but I think whatever we see play out in 2026 is going to make it a lot easier to predict what the following 3 years has in store.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. Good or bad, I think it's gonna
Yeah,
be
this is the question mark here.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, and we're a crypto financial podcast, but we just get on here and riff. But it's like what you see happening right now. There's riots again all across the country based on what happened in Minnesota with ICE. We're having protests going on down in Denver. People are lighting stuff on fire and lighting people's cars on fire. It's really really high class individuals that oppose these common sense measures. But anyway, I digress. The point that I'm trying to make is it is very likely that with all this stuff that's going on, that Trump does something like invoke the Insurrection Act. And we have actual military patrolling the streets of our cities. Like, that's a real possibility for 2026. It's not a sure thing, but I think it is a higher probability. If this was something that you could bet on Polymarket, I think it would be a higher percentage now than at any point ever.
Yeah.
With stuff like that, it's like you never know. Uh, who knows what it's going to be that finally triggers this financial reset? They're doing everything they can to drag it on and save the dollar as long as they can, but we all know that um, it happens soon, man. It we thought it needed to happen in 2025. It can't wait much longer.
Well, I think the start of what we're looking for starts with the Clarity Act. We have to get that done. People have to have clear rules and regulations so they can proceed with implementing utility and taking the next step with this technology. Until that happens, we're just in this limbo of going sideways and 5% here, 8% there. We really need that to occur. If that gets delayed or if that doesn't happen this year, then I'm going to have some concerns. I think we all probably
Yeah.
should.
I
Yeah,
think that's what I think the problem is. I think that we need it. They said January, but not that I believe it's January. I think first quarter. But what I'm worried about is that if it becomes too political, then they push it back. Or if they're not ready for what you just said, like for them to start doing the adoption because they need other pieces in place, maybe the Black Swan event or something like that, then that also is like kind of like scary because it's like, so then a lot of the timelines that we was looking at is out the window. You know what I mean? And we talking more closer to like the end of the Trump term at that point because they're going to fight it the whole way. So that's not what I want to see either. So like you said, positive was January 15th is when they doing the first markup. We'll see how that looks. And I think the market is paying attention to that, to be
yeah.
honest with you.
Man, that's this week. That's
Yeah, it's
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah. If
That'll
that's a
be interesting.
if that's a positive conversation, and they can get it moved to the floor where they can actually start, marking it up and trying to get a vote on it, then I think we in business. But if we see any kind of like political left versus right type of rhetoric coming out, then I'm worried about it because
Well,
that's
we are because the uh, World Liberty Financial filed for their banking license.
They filed for an OCC charter too, right?
Yeah, and that has really irritated the left. And Adam Schiff now is leading the charge to derail the Clarity Act because of it. So yeah, we're dealing with it right now.
I literally we just timing is everything, man. Like I
Yeah, they-
love the positivity around crypto, man. I love the business acumen. I understand that this is important and y'all in business, but time it like, do you not read the room? Like,
they should have waited.
they should have waited. Let's
Yeah,
wait to see what we can get pushed to the Senate and let Elizabeth Warren, who we already sick of hearing, go and lead the charge, but nobody cares.
Yeah,
But now it's not
it's
going
all
to, we're not even going to get to markup. It's going to be a fucking
yeah.
us.
Adam Schiff's fighting.
Democrats stand tall. It's gonna be like the shutdown. Like we're gonna stand there and we're gonna fight against him because it's his fault and it's gonna be some bullshit.
You talk
That's what
about how stupid all these politicians are.
we're idiots.
I'll give you a
Idiots.
good example here in Colorado. So I just went to a really awesome event last night. Colorado GOP event where they had some really great speakers. It's really just awesome networking of this, like a country club down in the Golden area. And one of the headline speakers, the keynotes of the night, was our Colorado House minority leader, which is obviously the GOP because we are very much the minority here in Colorado. And he was saying, so we have this thing in Colorado where it's called and most states have it, but it's TABOR, the Taxpayer Bill of Rights. And we are the Colorado Democrats are trying to get rid of the Taxpayer Bill of Rights right now so they can, just rape the taxpayers even more. And literally, that's so dumb that because we have this, the House majority leader is using our taxpayer dollars to sue the state of Colorado right now in order to get rid of the Taxpayer Bill of Rights. So our tax dollars are being used to sue the state to get rid of our ability to have rights as taxpayers. It's just the most dumb thing you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, that's
And
par
this
for the
is
course.
it's par for the course. This is what these politicians do. They don't do anything for us. Like they literally just do what they're told to do by some puppet master. They're all dumb as rocks. Like they have no spine. They have no like actual gumption to stand up and have any values or any virtue that they hold to. It is literally just who is feeding their non-government organization pocket. And it's disgusting, man. It's just gross. Man, talk about a little tangent there. I don't even know what, but in better news, BNY Mellon has formally announced that they're tokenizing real world assets for their institutional clients, and Ripple followed up on that BNY is their partner and that they'll be using Ripple Prime for this. So to make a really strong 180, here's some positive news in the room.
There is,
Shout
yeah,
out to
there is.
ROUSD, man. Shout out to ROUSD.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think good things are happening. There are some good things happening, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to get jaded when we see our politicians just literally playing theater and acting like absolute buffoons.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them, Democrat and Republican, needs smacked in the face.
Literally.
Yeah.
They
It don't
don't
matter what side.
not punched.
They all sunk
They
on
need
both sides. Both
they
sides.
they need to get a backhand like bitch slap.
I was going to say like that. The meme, it's like the bitch.
Yeah, no, none of them are men enough to punch in the face.
And by the way, the BNY Mellon mention is a nice segue because I really did appreciate Brad Garlinghouse's tweet this week where he announced his quarterly report. Thought it interesting he tagged Tom Brady in that. I wonder if Tom Brady
Yeah.
is an XRP holder. I can't imagine Brad Garlinghouse doesn't tags Tom Brady, and Tom Brady has no clue about XRP. They're probably friends and no one realizes it.
Well, no, did you just see the other day Brady had a party? Hold on, I'm gonna find this.
Yeah.
And Garlinghouse was in the picture.
No way.
Was that? I think I saw that party. I saw that picture. I didn't realize that was a Tom Brady party.
Well, that would explain it. That would explain why he mentioned Tom Brady, the GOAT.
And furthermore on that tweet, I really did appreciate Brad Garlinghouse reminding all of us that XRP is the heartbeat of everything they do. We were talking about that before the show, but Duran, you made a good point. I think Brad Garlinghouse is probably pretty sensitive to the market sentiment, and reassuring us and throwing that out there. It's good to hear. And I like putting my money behind Ripple and XRP because they are so connected with the right politicians. Brad Garlinghouse had dinner with Trump. Let's not forget that. He's the hardest working man in Capitol Hill trying to get the Clarity Act passed. And that's an organization I want to be exposed to. They're tied in deeply. And it just makes me
They
feel
put their
good
money
about
where their mouth is too. Like
Yeah.
they put their money where their mouth is. I mean, with the acquisitions of companies to push Ripple forward and to push XRP as the the focal point behind these companies that they're getting, as well as like what they do for donations to like the right people. Like, and so it's not like they just giving us, just a lot of mouth and no action. They actually go and put their money where their mouth is, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So I found this. So yes, Tom Brady, 48, and girlfriend Alex Early, 25.
Oh, so that was a Tom Brady party. Oh, so Tom Brady 100% probably has XRP.
But he
Absolutely.
knows
That's
Brad
great.
Garley
He's
has
in
his
the
ass
army.
party. It's literally just like, I mean, this Alex girl is really hot. I'll give him, I mean, but Tom Brady is the goat. Tom Brady's the GOAT, man. I mean,
He is the GOAT, man. He
he's
is
the
the GOAT.
GOAT for a reason. Like, he can be 48 and still dating a 25-year-old supermodel.
As he
But
should.
yeah, as he should,
As he
right? With all the BS he put up with Giselle.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't stay on pop culture, but
Yeah, I don't either.
But no, this picture with Brad Garlinghouse, it's like Brad and a few other dudes, and then just dozens of really hot girls.
Shit. Brad probably should be there because he just
Brad, you just got married, dog. Brad,
get away.
I don't want you to have to give away half your Ripple shares, bro.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to split your XRP bag, dog.
Yeah.
I know your XRP bag is really big, Brad, but
you don't want
if you're gonna split it with anyone, at least figure out a good cause. I mean, these girls are really hot, but I don't know that they're worth half your XRP bag.
Hell no. Nope. That is crazy. So that means Tom Brady probably knows a thing or two about XRP. He know a thing or two. Because I mean, they buddies. That mean they talk on a personal level. That mean that they had jokes and conversations. They know what each other does career wise. That's not a coincidence. Like he probably. I feel like a lot of athletes and entertainers are XRP holders, and I think they just don't talk about it because it's not, prevalent to them because they got money, so they don't really care. We focus on it because we know this can change our lives, and like a lot of those guys, they just like, oh, I'm gonna throw $1 million into XRP. They don't think twice about it. If it go up, it goes up, but they're not really worried about it. So I'm sure there's a ton of people like that. A ton of them.
There's a secret club that knows.
But yeah.
And it's like even in this picture, I can't think of the other actor's name, but he's a super famous actor. He's been in a bunch of stuff, and he was also in pictures at Brad Garlinghouse's wedding. So it's like, Garlinghouse hangs out with all those actors. Like he hangs at like Hollywood is Garlinghouse's circle.
Yeah.
And that just leads me to say, I'll throw this conspiracy theory out there. Obviously, Garlinghouse has been a big business guy for a long time. I mean, he's been executive at a lot of different places, like even AT&T, and he's been very successful for sure. But, I think to a degree, like any of these big roles that, like once a company gets to a certain size, I think Brad Garlinghouse has a lot of say as the CEO of Ripple. But also, Brad Garlinghouse answers to a board. And Brad Garlinghouse answers to advisors. And Brad Garlinghouse answers to the key stakeholders and initial investors and the large shareholders of Ripple. So when you get to a company the size of Ripple, the shareholders decide who becomes CEO. And it's not just about you're really smart at business and you're really, you've had a good career. Like the resume is the excuse for some of that. And I definitely don't mean to take anything away from Garlinghouse. He's a GOAT in his own right. But the stakeholders that put him in place as CEO, it's because to a degree, he has to be an actor himself. You get to just go out, like we said earlier, he doesn't get to just go out and tell us everything. He has to be an actor and play a role. He has to play a role in what he can say and what he can't say. And at the end of the day, they trust him to make certain decisions, but really big decisions are made by the shareholders and the large stakeholders. They tell him what they want him to do. Like he's the one that signs the paper as the CEO, I mean, if there's an actual paper to be signed or whether it's, proverbial or whatever, but like he does their bidding. And I think that's a good like analogy even of what we see in politics. It's like what we're saying. It's the same thing in these large companies. The people that we see that are forward facing, whether it's our politicians or whether it's the big CEOs of certain companies, they are there because people that don't want to be seen in public need a face. And so those people become the face. Brad Garlinghouse is the face of Ripple. And Ripple has other faces, but he's the CEO. And it's because whoever all the shareholders are that we won't ever even know their names because their stock and their equity and their XRP and their pre-IPO shares and all that is held within trusts that are held within shell companies that are held within offshore accounts. We'll never be able to find where that chain of custody goes. So they put someone like Brad in to be the face to represent them so they can make decisions without anyone knowing who actually makes decisions. And then Brad Garlinghouse gets to go and hang out with Tom Brady at New Year's Eve parties in dozens of supermodels. So good for
You
Brad.
gotta think him and Chris Larson, Chris Larson saw something in him and wanted him to be the CEO because Chris Larson is a good speaker. He is really good. But as far as like that bravado of like what Brad brings, like he is a different kind of energy. And when he walks in the room, I don't think Chris Larson has that. I just think he's a very intelligent guy, very smart and savvy in business. And he talks great, like when you see him do interviews. But like Brad is so cool under pressure, even when he's being attacked, even with that fucking interview he did last year where they kind of like ambushed him with questions and stuff. He was still cool, still very polite, still very poised. And like I said, he's a great face for Ripple if that's the case. Like, and
I think
he's also a great face for like the XRP community because if he's acting, he's a great actor. He should win.
Will, I'm sorry, I'm not buying in on that one. I think Brad is way more than just that. And
I didn't say he's only an actor. I'm saying to a degree, all CEOs of every major company are. They're beholden to their shareholders.
They are.
Yes.
But they still got to be somewhat of a, like, to do the things that these CEOs do, they have to have a good pulse on like the markets as well as like.
I'm not saying he's not tapped in. I'm not saying he doesn't know what's going on. I'm not saying he's not highly intelligent. All I'm saying is, to a degree, just like every politician has the puppet masters that pull their strings, so does Garlinghouse. I mean, it just is what it is. Everybody has some boss.
That's true.
At the end of the day.
You have to realize that this gives the Bitcoiners and the Ethereum people all they need, because that's their argument. Is like, well, Brad works for these people and he's not really genuine to what blah blah blah. Ripple is only in it for themselves, and they're gonna dump on the market and dump on their community because the community is so passionate. That's the level of like FUD that they give out there.
Yeah, but that's even more stupid because there's nobody in the world that wants XRP to go to $1,000 more than Ripple.
No, I agree.
There's nobody in the world as much as, and we might want it more just because we don't have the bandwidth and capacity, stuff that they do. But my point is they hold more of it than anybody. So they're not here to just dump on the community. If they're selfish, which every good company is selfish to a degree because they have one objective, and that is to make money for their shareholders. Well, the best way for Ripple to make money for their shareholders is for XRP to go to $10,000. And, obviously I'm throwing out a big number, but if it goes to $20,
right,
$10, that's so much better for the shareholder. The shareholders are going to make a ton of money.
Because they bought in less than a penny. They bought in less than a penny.
Yeah.
They bought XRP less than a penny.
And Ripple got it for nothing. It was given to them. So Ripple has a zero cost basis.
That just went all the way around us. You know what? Brad is going to see you at XRP Las Vegas 2026, and he's going to be like, That guy, right?
I hope so. I hope so. If Brad Garlinghouse gets to hear this, I'm a big fan. I'm a bigger fan of him than anyone in any movie I've ever seen. I'm even a bigger fan of Brad than Tom Brady. Football's not that cool of a sport anyway.
Oh,
See, Brad's gonna feel that if Brad hears this. Brad's a basketball guy. So Brad knows that ultimately basketball is the GOAT of sports. I honestly think that there's at least a 2% chance from this conversation that Brad and I end up getting to play at least a game of pig.
Brad's guy, he could probably ball too.
Yeah. Brad Garlinghouse, I officially challenge you to a game of pig at XRP Las Vegas. We will find a rim and a hoop. Bill's just standing over here with his mouth shut. He's like, we're all going to be banned. We're all going to be banned from XRP Las
Yeah.
Vegas.
We'll be watching from the outside.
Yeah.
We're on,
You remember
we're
that
on
booth?
the, what is it?
That booth you wanted is now over.
We get 86. We're going to be on the 86 list.
You see what happened, Sean? You see what happened, Sean? You went on vacation and he just let us run wild.
Off the rails, Sean.
Yeah. Sean thinks he can just take a vacation on the beach in Hawaii and I'm not going to go off. But yeah, Brad Garlinghouse, I'm a big fan, man. I love your work. Man.
Shoot, man.
Well, with
Great.
with the jokes of the XRP community right now, we would be remiss to not mention the highest degree of theater that we could possibly see in the XRP community. Speaking of actors, and that is Zach Rector flipping out, or I shouldn't say flipping out. That's not the right word. Is Zach Rector calling out Claver for improper business practices, and then Jake Claver suing Zach for $30 million. And I think the funny part of that is I don't think either one of them have $30 million.
It's outrageous. I thought it was a meme. I was like, that can't be real. Like, but I've seen it circulating quite a bit. Either one commented on it, so I don't know how true, but I don't know. If it's true, that is hilarious because you can't sue somebody for telling you court documents that were true.
Yeah.
It gave you facts. It was no diminishing your name, no lies. It was court documents said this. You chose not to answer any question about it, and then you sue. That's weak as hell. So I hope that is not a real thing because
seems like something an actor would do.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
Man, I didn't come on here with the intention to make enemies tonight.
No.
I don't think so. I don't think I've made any enemies.
No enemies.
No enemies. This was all fun. And I definitely didn't say anything that can get me sued. So.
Always a plus.
Hey, BG, man. BG probably got a nice little 3, man. I ain't gonna hold you. BG may got a 3 on him, man. You gonna have to guard it from the perimeter, man. You can't.
John Deaton already tweeted that me, Brad, and him would take on any Bitcoin maxi squad. So I'm telling you, it is possible. I'm going to hold on to this dream. And once Ripple has a Make-A-Wish Foundation arm, I'm going to apply for a 3-on-3 game with Brad Garlinghouse and John Deaton. And we're going to take on Scottie Pippen. And
shit. Don't do Scotty. Not Scotty, man.
Well, I'm thinking, I'm trying to give him a chance. Like, who would be the Bitcoin maxi squad, I don't know, Scotty, Sailor, and Satoshi himself. So Epstein.
From the grave. Satoshi from the grave.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, well, I just want everybody in the XRP community to have fun and love life. And I tell you, it is so easy to get caught up and be pulled down by the fact that prices haven't moved yet, or that, we haven't gotten to take profits where we want to, or just the fact that things are taking longer than we want. But I just want to encourage everybody, go out and do things in your life that are fun. Like, that is why the three of us are here right now. We have fun. We're three friends that love talking crypto and blockchain and making each other laugh and, just expressing our authentic thoughts and having conversation about it. I try to live every day of my life that way. And this is a thing we do once a week, but I have my other podcast, Will Carr Speaks. did I recorded 4 podcast episodes this morning. Here we are doing this one tonight. This next week, I have some really fun meetings and stuff coming up. And it's just, the more that I can get out there and just meet people and talk to people, like, I love going to conventions and conferences and small local get-togethers where I can meet people that are actually making an impact and making a difference in various things. I mean, I just encourage everyone to. Everything in life is about perspective. So even just going to the grocery store, like, you see so many random people. The world needs more hellos.
Yeah.
The world needs more, how you doing today? Even if that's as far as the conversation goes. Like, because maybe you do that 20 times and it's just, maybe you get 19 people that are just like, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks. Yeah. How are you? And even if it's just that deep, there's still something about that lifts people's spirits a little, just that someone else will notice them and say, yeah, that's right. Phil's dog is giving me a exclamation mark.
He sure is.
But maybe on that 20th time you ask someone, like, they really need to talk to somebody and be like, you know what? I'm not okay. Like, there's something going on that I really need to share, get off my chest. And it's just like, the more that we as society can, we talked a lot today about, we got into some politics and just like crazy things that might happen in 2026 and how the world might just be completely different in a few years, and the possibility of black swans, and who knows if we're going to bomb Iran, and like, there's all types of question marks in the air. And are we going to have military in our cities? The thing is, we have no control over any of that. And what we do have control over is, how do we treat other people? Do we treat everyone as if they are a child of God and valuable of human life, and valuable to be treated with respect? Everybody. And then also, what are you doing for yourself to take care of yourself and make sure that you are being the absolute best that you can be? And if I could say anything about 2026, I believe there's going to be some wild things play out. But the thing that I can control is waking up every day and doing things that make me a better human, and doing things that help me grow as a human, make me a better father, make me a better member of my community, make me a better business owner so I can make more money and contribute more in a financial way to my community and people around me, or even just do more things for my daughter, do more things for my family, or have more freedoms. Like, whatever it is, what are you doing every day to improve yourself and better yourself? Because that's where joy comes from. And no matter what happens in the world around us that we do not have control over, joy comes from knowing that I am on a path, and I'm on a path of improving and becoming the best version of myself. And knowing that you already are that version of yourself, you're just on the journey of being that. And so, anyway, yeah, we're 45 minutes into this. I've done 5 podcasts. For some reason, I'm deciding to go on, like a spiritual, motivational tangent. But I guess that's just kind of who I am at my core too. I think when you get as exhausted as I am at this point, you start running on autopilot. And I think that's what's happening to me, for me right now, boys.
It's a good autopilot, that's for damn sure.
No, that was great, man. And I mean, to be honest, like, I think, like you said before, like, us being able to do this podcast, it's a good way to be able to like talk through stuff with people that's like-minded. I think that everybody needs that, because when you got a community, we got friends and people that you can actually like joke about stuff, but also be serious about stuff, but also like your frustrations and things that you're thinking about within, especially the crypto market. Having people that can give you like some good sound advice, as well as like uplift you and like, hey, we in the right place at the right time. That's kind of all we need. And like, that's what keep you going. so that you don't go sell your whole bags because the market is down, or because you heard news from some X person on, some space or whatever. Like, you got to have real people that you believe in, that you loved, and that you can really commit with, to do something like a podcast, or like just conversations in group chats and stuff like that, because that's the stuff that's important, man. It's like that boundaries that we have with each other, and the bond that we have with each other is something that we all appreciate, and then we appreciate each other for giving us sound advice and reason behind this fucking crazy crypto market that we live in.
Yeah, it's truth, man. Community. The XRP community is some of the absolute best people on the planet, and I know we've got some buffoons who are really loud on X. I would even venture to say they're good people too.
Yeah.
I bet if you got to hang out with them and sit down and smoke a cigar, they would be entertaining. Not, or at least they would be entertaining. But in general, man, I mean, it's not going to be that long. We do these episodes once a week. XRP Las Vegas, and assuming I'm not 86 from it at this point, it's, I think Phil could probably pull a couple strings if it
Might be
came
able
to it.
to.
I was going to say, DP is cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the best.
No, I mean, and obviously, I don't think I am. I get along and love everybody. We're just joking around and having fun with, Riz Riz and BG on just being a paid actor. But I have to say it one more time. But anyway, guys, any closing thoughts for y'all before we wrap up?
And I just try to stay positive. The market's tough right now. There's tons of FUD out there. Don't pay attention to it. Just know what you hold.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
basically where I'm at right now.
Just know what you hold.
Yeah.
One thing that I love that Coach JB always say, he stays stoic, and I agree with that. Like, being
Yeah.
stoic in your investment and understanding that you in it for the right reasons, and this volatility and all this other stuff is just here for the moment, man. But we know what we're here for. So
Yeah. Be stoic and let yourself have fun.
Yep.
That would be the thing I would add to that. Because it's easy. It can be, and for some people it's not easy. But for some people, it can be really easy to just be pragmatic and be stoic, to the point where you also just don't let yourself really enjoy anything. Celebrate
Sure.
your wins. Make sure that you're having wins. Like, that's the biggest thing. You're only going to have wins if you're out there trying and growing and building and working to become everything that you already are. Like, you wouldn't have goals and dreams and ambitions if somewhere inside of you didn't already know that you were called to be something. Like, if you didn't know inside of you that you weren't called to be something great, and that you weren't put on this earth to be something phenomenal, you wouldn't have goals to reach that type of ambition. And so if you have high degrees of ambition, celebrate that, but then hold yourself accountable to actually go and make them a reality, because you don't just dream of those things for no reason. But then it's easy for the world to distract you and to make and to pull you off course and off track. Be a man and tie your shoes and get out and go on the run. So anyway, I hate running. That was a terrible analogy for me. I never want to go on a run, but I have a lot of things I do want to do.
You should have said hike. You like hikes.
I
You
do.
like to-
I love going on hikes. That's my run. I'll climb to the top of a mountain. It just take me all day. All right. Well, with that said, this is the Diginacci Sequence. It's been another fun week. I'm Will Carr, here with two of my favorite co-hosts, Phil Spinuza and Crypto Heavy. And y'all have a fantastic week. We will see you next Sunday.
See you next
See you
week.
guys. Take care.
Peace.